Nigel, how long have you had a recording studio?
Well, we've been here in Milton Keynes for 5 years as a properly set up professional studio. But for about 4 or 5 years before that, I, with 2 other people, ran a small record company, and we had a sort of studio in our offices. That sounds rather grand. It was really a sort of tatty old warehouse and 3 or 4 crummy old rundown offices. And we combined a couple of the offices into a small studio and control room and had some fairly basic 8-track recording equipment there. And if you really want to go way back, I started fooling around with tape recorders with an old reel-to-reel Philips recorder when I was about 7 years old.
But you weren't trained as a sound engineer, were you?
Only in the University of Life.
Do you think you could describe Steeleye Span? I mean, the kind of music they play and the kind of success that you've had.
The music is difficult to describe, and people and rock journalists have been trying to describe it for years. It has been called folk rock, but I think we're more sort of an English approach to rock music, because most rock music is drawn from blues, therefore American or Negro-based. It's not country music, which of course again we think comes from America, but originally came from Ireland and went to America. It's really drawing from what we do really have in this country.
Steeleye Span has sold millions of records all over the world. Does that mean you've spent a lot of time touring?
We were mainly a touring band, and our whole act was geared towards the fact we were out on the road a great deal. We also loved touring, although it does, after a while, and as one gets older, you know, it gets on top of you. But we've toured Europe, countless times, 20 or 30 times, I suppose. We've been to America 5 or 6 times, one of which was for 3 months. We've been to Australia about half a dozen times, New Zealand 2 or 3 times, round the world twice.
And does Steeleye Span still tour as much?
These days we really only tour for about 3 months of the year, which is generally about a 3 or 4 week tour of England, 3 or 4 weeks in America, 3 or 4 weeks in Australia. We usually manage to get to Australia right in the middle of the English winter, which is, of course, the middle of their summer, which is just the job, yes. And I don't know why, but we seem to tour sort of up and down the Gold Coast, where they do a lot of swimming and surfing, and then we find ourselves on the Barrier Reef. It's a really tough tour, you know.